Let's date forever. Here's your weekly dose of relationship fuel with Sammi and Nathan Jaeger. Hello and welcome to Date Forever. In this week's episode, we're chatting about our humming household tank and the level ups that we've done this year to improve our humming household. But before we dive into that, Sammi, what's been fueling you up this week?
We had a beautiful long weekend for the Easter break in Australia. We're coming to the
tail end of summer, well, beginning of autumn, but
almost middle of autumn.
Here we are.
But we had a really, I think, harmonious kind of balanced couple of days with some triathlon training for me for a race that I've got coming up, some time spent at Bunnings and doing a couple of little home maintenance and upgrade things around the house, which actually semi-inspired this week's episode.
Yeah.
And also we went to a music festival.
Yeah, we did.
So all the things.
And also some really, really nice beach time where the weather was still beautiful. So
yeah, so all of those things really fueled me up. What about you, Nath?
Exactly those things as well. Yeah, I really enjoyed dancing the day away with you at the music festival. So really great weekend.
So, like Nathan mentioned, we're going to dive into our humming household fuel tank. If you are new to Date Forever, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so thrilled to have you here with us. But we live our life under the idea that we have these 8 different fuel tanks and each of them need fuel, intentional fuel, and that fuel comes in all different shapes and sizes and sort of burns through at different rates. So before we dive into the humming household tank that we're going to talk about today, I just wanted to do a quick recap. So tank number 1 is our relationship with ourselves. It sets the tone for every other relationship that we have.
Tank number 2 is our romantic relationship.
Tank number 3, our relationships and network. So this is our friends, our family, our children if we've got them, our peers, our network, the people that really bring the joy and fun and love to life.
Tank number 4, which is the one that we're going to dive into today, is our humming household. This is everything to do with our house and logistics and making our life work.
Tank number 5, career and business. This is all about recognizing the opportunities that you want to have in your professional sphere of life.
Tank number 6 is wealth and lifestyle. This is all about money for now and our wealth generation for the future as well, but also the lifestyle that we really want to have.
Tank number 7 is all about the world and using your unique gifts, talents, skills to contribute to a cause or a purpose or a community outside of yourself. It's about making that really big impact on the world.
And tank number 8 is the future. So what can we be doing today to set ourselves up for the future?
So we're diving into our humming household tank in this episode today for a couple of reasons. One is that we've made some improvements and progress in this area over the last basically since the start of the year, and we wanted to share it and we thought it might be helpful. Also, the very last episode that we released in 2023 was with Mia Northup, and the whole episode was about how do we get our life admin under control and to a place where it's proactive rather than reactive. So this tank humming household is really about recognizing that your home is your sanctuary. And if we aren't careful, we can spend a lot of our time, money, and energy keeping that household humming, from laundry to dishes to food to the pantry to the groceries to what are we going to eat to our pets and other creatures that might live in our home with 4 legs or maybe leaves. And then recognizing that as a listener, you might be in a relationship and you might be sharing that humming household with someone else, whether or not that's a housemate or other family members or your romantic partner or some of all of those.
So when I think about this tank and everything that's involved in this tank and how we can improve our humming household, the things that I really think about is that old saying of what can we eliminate, what can we automate, and what can we delegate. And I like to add another one as well, which is what can we elevate? So that's what we're really going to dive in today, is some of those things that we have eliminated, automated, elevated, or delegated in the first 4 months of this year.
Okay, so the first one I don't know which one of those it kind of falls into, Nath, but it is just like our lock-up garage is more than a place where we park our car.
Yeah, it is. This is probably in the elevate category, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's elevate. So it was a hot mess.
It was.
Yeah. Over the Christmas break, we knew that we wanted to spend a little bit of time in there because there was stuff that was not organized, that we couldn't access or we couldn't find, or is not a functional space.
Yeah, there was lots of leftover furniture that we'd moved out of our apartment and just down into the garage, and we were using it for a purpose, but it wasn't in any sort of order whatsoever. So it was a very unusable space.
So we invested maybe $1,000 into a storage system. We got some purpose-built DIY storage that we went to Bunnings and carried home in our tiny little car and installed in our garage. And then we got some plastic tubs from IKEA and sorted through a heap of stuff. Some things went into the donate, some went into the rubbish. Get rid of it. Why are we holding on to this? And the space, although is not perfect, it's definitely elevated. One of my biggest challenges with that space was that my home gym was down there and there was equipment like sort of all just in a pile, and it was really not very inviting. And that has elevated and leveled up like almost 100% better.
Yeah. It was not very inviting, and it was also not very usable either. You spent half your workout just moving the equipment around to be able to get to it. So, yeah, we have made that space much more usable and a much more inviting place to actually want to work out.
So that was a great elevate for our humming household.
Yeah.
All right, what else have we done?
So the next big one that we've done is a automate. So this is our RoboVac that you might have heard us mention in our Fuel Up in a previous episode. But this was something that we'd been talking about for years, really. We did have a RoboVac probably 5 or 6 years ago, and the amount of dog fur that it was sucking up managed to break it. And so ever since we'd had that one, we'd wanted to get another one. And so this time we decided to go kind of all in and get the self-cleaning, so the mopping and vacuum and the docking station for it to self-empty and everything as well. So this has been a huge level up. We still have our dog, and he is a very multi-dog. So it's so nice to have this task automated so that it happens every day. We come home to a clean house all the time. So it's really helped us in two ways, in that it has increased the frequency of the cleaning, which has been amazing, but also automated a task that was otherwise a manual vacuum task.
And I want to say, like, I recognize that this is from a place of privilege, but we chose to spend some money on this rather than some other things in our life. Like, this was not an expense that was it was or. And it was something that was grinding our gears pretty much every day. We live by the beach. We have this multi-dog who sheds fur like it's glitter. So, yeah, I wish we had done it sooner, because it's alleviated any of the, like, who's cleaning the floor, really should have done it yesterday or the day before, or, yeah. So I love this elevation for our humming household.
Yeah. And it might not do the job 100% perfect, but 98% perfect is almost good enough for us.
And I did do a lot of research. I went down the TikTok hole to get all of the reviews, and I'm very happy with the machine that we purchased. It vacuums, it mops, it self-cleans, and we just have to empty it occasionally, change over the water. Not a big deal at all. It's definitely prolific over the perfect, and it's really easy to do just the couple of little bits that it can't quite reach to around our furniture. Yep. But yeah, it's been a really big impact on our humming household.
Yeah, it has been.
Okay, so elevate number 3 for our humming household was something that we did actually learn from Mia in that earlier episode. Go back and listen if you haven't yet. But one of the things that Mia shared was this idea of having a shared digital ecosystem for all of the things that you get emails for. So we have created a new email account that both Nath and I have access to. And we're slowly transitioning all of the things like our utilities, our subscriptions, anything that relates to the house, basically, even our insurance and the vet. And we are making our way through a pretty long list. And it's kind of one of those things that's like, why did we not think to do this beforehand? Because now it's centralized and we can both see what we need to see, tracking details on things that are being delivered, all of that sort of stuff. So that one's a work in progress, but I can definitely see how it's going to improve the humming nature of our household.
Yeah, definitely. And so I think we've started out with the email side of things, but then the next stage of that as well will be the password manager to help manage all the passwords for all of those subscriptions and things like that. So that's a little elevate that we're planning to do this month.
Humming household upgrade number 4 was that we swapped out some furniture. Over the Christmas break, we had a couple of bookcases and things that were storing items that were like kind of working, but they were not fit for purpose. It was like we were trying to shove a square thing in a round hole. So another trip to IKEA and Facebook Marketplace, and we have elevated our office space and some additional storage, and we've almost got like a little dressing nook now, and we're in a small apartment. So maximizing the utilization of the space that we do have is really important, so that we can find what we need when we need it.
And this one's a little bit of a work in progress as well. So we've kind of done it in stages in that we've got almost the bare basics of it up and working and functional, but then we're wanting to elevate it as well with some slide-in drawers and some nice lighting and things like that too. So that's kind of phase 2 of this upgrade.
So then from a more logistics kind of standpoint, to help us manage our home, something that we have probably just got a stronger rhythm and habit and routine around. Now we sort of started introducing this habit in around October last year, is using the Reminders app on an iPhone and creating shared to-do lists. So every week we start a new to-do list with the week commencing date. And then on Sunday night, we go through the to-dos. What have we got to commit to doing this week? Who's doing it? And giving ourselves 7 days to get it done. And I think sometimes we get to the end of our chat and we're like, okay, there's no way that you or I together are going to get through this list. And it's amazing how much grace it's giving both of us. Not like, oh, I asked you to do that weeks ago. It's like, oh, I can actually see when I asked you to do that, or when I committed to doing something and when I have or haven't done it. Yeah. It's also quite freeing, like from a mental standpoint, to like not be trying to hold all of these tasks in my own head. The great thing about the Reminders app too, and I'm sure there's 1,000 different apps if you're not an iPhone user that you could use instead, but it can bring up a summary of all of the things that are not yet completed, or the things that you've been assigned. So I can take a really quick look if I've got, half an hour or something to do a quick couple of tasks. And there's things like, oh, I committed to organizing that birthday gift, or, oh, I need to book in that hair appointment, or I need to organize the payment of something that can't be automated, or I need to follow up on that returns or that exchange that we had organized. So I'm finding it really, really helpful. And if you haven't heard us talk about this before, on a Sunday, Nathan and I have a happy hour check-in where we spend about an hour or so going through setting ourselves up for success for the week. And one of the things that we've been integrating is checking in on this to-do list during that chat. So we've got a really nice commitment and cadence around it too.
So one final upgrade that we're working on throughout this year is we have quite a lot of smart devices around our house. So we're continually looking to add new things to that to help automate and elevate our house. But as we add new things and as we change a few things around, some of the routines do get messed up, or there are new routines that we can add as well. So we're doing a little refresh of our household at the moment and making sure that all of the routines and everything is automated as much as we possibly can. So that's a little one that I can do while sitting in front of the couch, maybe watching something else, and just kind of plot away at that each evening. So
there's something very lovely about coming home and saying, "Hey Google, I'm home." And then she just does all of the things that I want her to. Yeah. Lights, music, air. It's a nice system to have set up. So I hope this has been helpful to just have a little bit of a reflect on your own humming household. What are some of the things that are working really well for you at the moment? What are the things that maybe you would like to automate, eliminate, delegate, or elevate? And is there something that you want to improve in the next maybe season? We're in the middle of autumn. Maybe there's something you want to commit to get it done and make your life even better. Some of the other things that we do to keep our household humming, we use Eve Rodsky's Fair Play system to manage our household tasks. She's got a really incredible book and a deck of cards that outline about 100 tasks that need to happen to keep our household humming. We have a lot of our reoccurring and consumable items on subscription, so they're set and forget, and we don't have to worry about running out of things. We have most of our bills automated and set up to pay reoccurring, so again, set and forget. And that beautiful rhythm of checking in with each other every week for that logistics check-in to keep ourselves across being a really good teammate and housemate, as well as lover, wife, friend, all the hats. To say thank you for listening today, we have partnered with Buy One, Give One to contribute to a project that's being run out of the Philippines by Gawad Kalinga, where they build homes for families, people who are living in slums or are living in that really survival mode where it's every person for themselves. So this project builds houses for disadvantaged families and really helps them to create a home. And that's what this episode's really about, is making sure that your house and your home feels like a home and it's something that you can enjoy, and it's not always in a reactive state that you need to manage. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you for making that possible. This episode of Date Forever has been brought to you by Sammi Jaeger and the Fueled Up Life Lab. If you want to learn more, come on over to SammiJaeger.com, where you can access stacks of resources to help you fuel up your life and relationship. If you've loved this episode, share it with a friend. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an ep. Thanks for joining us and adding fuel to your tank.